But the apple did not fall far. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I've explained in considerable detail why Harry's wife is a narcissist. I've also explained that both her parents are narcissists also, Doria Ragland and Thomas Markle Sr. Many people seem to accept that Doria is one, although there are mixed views in relation to Thomas Markle. But I've explained, and I did so some time ago, utilising my unrivalled expertise in understanding narcissism, that he is indeed a narcissist. I explained that this was demonstrative as him having a rampant victim mentality, something, of course, all narcissists have, but the extent to which that victim mentality comes to the fore varies dependent upon the sub-school that you're dealing with. The type of sub-school that he is one whereby he is the eternal victim, that the world is a hostile and awful place that has dealt him too many a difficult hand, and it simply isn't fair. This mentality he has passed on to his daughter, whereas the sense of entitlement that she exhibits seems more to have come from Doria Ragland. But staying with Thomas Markle Sr., there are those that think that he's a hurting father who has been badly treated by his daughter. And you are correct to form that view. But his hurt manifests in a different way because it's wounding that he is experiencing. But to him, it feels like he's hurt by a daughter that will have nothing to do with him. Hurt and wounded by a daughter that ignores him. Challenged by the fact that she's spoken unfavourably about him. The fact that after everything that he did, which he believes he did out of the goodness of his heart, but he doesn't realise that he did because his narcissism compelled him to do it, that he treated her well as a child, that left with little choice because Doria disappeared for a number of years, he was the one that brought her up, as he explained in the recent television interview that he did with Channel 7. He explained that he looked after her from 6th grade. He was the one that supported her financially, that ensured that she had a scholarship paid for through school, through college, that she also had opportunities provided to her as a consequence of the connections that he enjoyed in the film and television industry. There's no doubt that he did a lot for her, and it is understandable that he feels hard done to. But you mustn't lose sight of the fact that what actually drove him to behave in the way that he did was his narcissism, to make him look like the doting father. There are many narcissists that behave this way. They believe that they are the thing that they portray, albeit that they're not. It doesn't mean that he didn't help her any less than he explains that he did, but the driver behind that behaviour was different. The fact that he repeatedly complains about the way that he's been treated shows his victim mentality, shows that the behaviour threatens his subconscious need for control, and he doles out repeated pity plays. Feel sorry for me. Look at the way that I've been treated. Rather than sucking up and keeping it private, like the way many people do, he feels that it's necessary to go on an international stage. He also looks, of course, to monetize this. There'll be those of you who think, well, why shouldn't he do so? His wife's spoken, or rather his daughter's spoken badly about him, so why shouldn't he go and get his side of the story? Well, you don't have to do so. For many people, they would look upon that behaviour and simply say, there's more to it, but this is a private matter and I'm going to keep it private. The recognition of boundaries, of course. The exhibition of emotional empathy. Not exhibiting a sense of entitlement. But with Thomas Markle Sr., he goes running repeatedly to the press and the media to broadcast his hurt. Notice that he took opportunity to do so prior to the coronation, in effect overshadowing it, or attempting to overshadow it, or leveraging off it, however you want to perhaps look at it. But he utilised the presence of the coronation. Why not wait until afterwards to have the interview? But no emotional empathy for Charles or other people involved in the coronation. It was simply, I need to make it all about me. The coronation's coming up. This provides me with a fantastic platform. I don't care about anybody else, although I think that I do. So I'm going to use the coronation as a platform. to talk about all of my woes and trials and tribulations. There's no doubt he's been treated badly by Harry's wife. She's thrown what he did for her back in his face. She's disengaged from him as a secondary source. She's undoubtedly smeared him both in the ways that we already know about and probably some rather unsavoury ways that we've yet to find out about. And there's no doubting that her behaviour is reprehensible, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he is a narcissist. And it's clear that the apple did not fall far from the tree. As you know from my excellent video, What Makes a Narcissist, there has to be a genetic predisposition towards narcissism. Thus, he and Doria passed this on to Harry's wife, and there has to be a lack of control environment as well. That was a combination of the absence of maternal influence and the fact that father went overboard in doting on her, treating her like the princess that she believes that she ought to be. Very few people have actually picked up on the fact that Thomas Markle Sr. is a narcissist, and are those that continue to doubt it. But let me tell you, he very much is one, and the evidence is there that supports it. And, of course, there is others that agree with me. skynews.com.au, with an article by Stacey Eldred, tells us, apple did not fall far from the tree. Harry's wife and her father both want to earn a living by complaining, playing the victim. The Duchess of Sussex and her estranged father, Thomas Markle Sr., both want to earn a living by complaining and playing the victim. And his latest bombshell interview only proves the apple does not fall far from the tree. The article explains that Mr. Markle is probably just upset because Harry's wife is doing a better job of playing the victim than he is. Well, it's more than that. He is upset because his narcissism makes him feel upset, because his daughter has repeatedly challenged him by having nothing to do with him, by making him sound like he's an unpleasant father, that he's the problem. All of that offends his sense of control. So it's not a case of thinking, oh, she's playing the victim better than I am. Remember, his narcissism will not tell him that that's what's going on. In actual fact, it is he plays the victim, and he makes a living through this complaining. And it appears also, as the article explains, that he's really just interested in money and fame, and therefore is a lot like Harry's wife. Well, indeed, he is. Fame provides him with the means of controlling people. Fame provides him with fuel. Fame provides him with the residual benefit of money. The article explains that at first glance the public might feel compelled to have compassion for Mr. Markle Sr. after his royal daughter went no contact over the staged paparazzi photo scandal. But the article explains the retired TV lighting director isn't genuine, and his contempt for Harry's wife was blatantly clear. When he told veteran journalist Liam Bartlett, "I refuse to be buried by Harry's wife," the article explains it showed that he was not actually interested in reconciling with his famous daughter. He isn't genuine. His contempt for Harry's wife is not particularly well hidden. If he was serious about reconciliation, why would he say terrible things about Harry's wife? And of course, that's undoubtedly the case. The fact is that it's done because he has to assert control over her. And the article explains that the criticism that she received about being arrogant, envious, vindictive, immature, and having a sense of entitlement makes a lot more sense after watching the Markle family interview. Well, you didn't need to watch the Markle family interview to know all about those characteristics that Harry's wife has to show that the apple did not fall far from the tree. The behaviour of the family members, particularly her father, does show that she's very similar to him in that way. The article explains that there are many reasons that Harry's wife could be avoiding the three family members, because they give the impression of being self-centred, greedy, disingenuous and obsessed with her. And therefore that would suggest that Harry's wife will believe that she's justified in cutting them off. Of course, she sees them as a threat to control, and that's why she's disengaged from her father, from her half-siblings. But the fact is, Thomas Markle Sr. as a narcissist himself, her behaviour threatens his sense of control, and therefore, rather than suck it up and deal with it as a narcissist, he has to try and nullify that threat to control, and he does so by repeatedly crying about it to the media, seeking money for that, and, of course, attacking his daughter back, thus demonstrating that, as both narcissists, the apple did not fall far from the tree. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.